Hey everyone, my name is Simona Hall, and today I'm going to be talking to you about rescuing broilers and is it really ethical? So, some background in case you don't know, a broiler is a chicken raised specifically for meat. The average broiler in the US is slaughtered at around 47 days old and weighing about 6 pounds. They're mostly raised indoors. Unless, of course, it's a pasture raised chicken and then it's raised outdoors. If it says free range, that's what you see in the bottom left corner of the screen. Free range just means they're not housed in individual cages. If you go to the top screen, that's a transport truck. So that's not how they're kept when they're caged birds. When they're caged, they are in individual cages as to not attack each other and go do cannibalistic activities. So how did we get here? The chicken industry was commercialized in the 1920s when we started needing more chickens more rapidly. Um, we were able to get our chickens to be a lot bigger, a lot faster. So originally it used to take over 60 days to get a chicken to be, I think, 2.5 pounds. And now we can get a chicken to 6 pounds in about 47 days. And that was done all through selective breeding, no bioengineering, hormones, steroids, antibiotics, anything like that, just selective breeding. So just taking the two biggest chickens that grew the fastest, breeding them together, and going on with that. So some common health problems we're seeing because these chickens are growing so fast is heart problems. Their heart is not able to keep up with the rate at which their body is growing. I in fact had a childhood chicken, didn't realize that it was a broiler. We got it from a friend. And he grew so fast, his heart literally gave out and he died. Because they're also getting to be a lot heavier. Their legs aren't meant to support that type of weight. So we're seeing a lot of lameness. Similar to the heart problems, there's organ failures. The organs aren't growing at the same rate as the chicken, which is leading to sudden death syndrome. And that's just when the chicken dies unexpectedly. Um, and yeah, it's really tragic when that happens. And then also not a lot, some of these chickens are also experiencing infections. So they're so fat, so heavy that their chest and stomach is just kind of rubbing on the ground and it's opening up sores, and those sores are getting chicken poop rubbed all in them, which is creating infections. Thankfully, because these chickens are slaughtered at such young ages, most chickens in our chicken houses, in our commercial chicken farms, are not experiencing these types of problems. However, this is a rising concern that we're seeing. So who's rescuing them? Mostly it's all people that mean well, animal activists, animal rights activists, welfare activists. Um, they see these living conditions and the few chickens from the masses that are suffering, and they're like, we have to do something about that. So some people, if some of the extremists are breaking into chicken houses and like just taking chickens, taking them off transport vans, stopping transport vans. It's thankfully not happening as much in the US as it's happening in Europe. But we're seeing a lot of people really protesting this and then taking these chickens home to be pets, or trying to find them homes and stuff. The problem is that these chickens are not bred with long-term health in mind. They're bred to be very productive, to grow quickly, and the hope is that we slaughter them before they suffer at all. So they're not really suffering. The problem is when we keep them as pets, then that's when we're seeing more of these health issues when these chickens are getting older and they're continuing to growing and their organs just cannot keep up. Um, so why does any of this matter? Well, animal welfare. We don't want these chickens to suffer just because someone thinks they're doing the right thing. Um, it's a sad reality that more chickens that are being quote unquote rescued are suffering than the ones that are in the farms. This is also an extreme safety concern for both the animals and the people. So I don't know if any of you have ever been on a chicken farm, but there's a lot of like biosecurity. They have you wear like boot covers, coveralls, a lot of times hair nets, masks, just to protect you from getting diseases from the chickens, but then also to protect the chickens from getting diseases from you. So if people are breaking into these barns, it's a huge biosafety concern. And then a lot of times, any of the chickens that they leave behind are just being euthanized because there's that biosafety concern. And so it's like, is this even productive? Are we even helping any animals? Because now these animals are just dying for no purpose rather than dying to be put into the food chain. Um, A lot of times people on social media like to depict these activists as heroes. I saw a video not that long back that I tried to find, was unsuccessful, of this lady who had a chicken, put it in a wheelchair, and that chicken honestly to me looked so miserable. It could hardly move. It couldn't like participate in any of its natural activities. It couldn't forage, it couldn't dig, it couldn't chase bugs. It could hardly like it had a wheelchair and it would like move like centimeters at a time. And it just overall didn't look that healthy. So people are trying to do their best, but a lot of times it's questionable. So, what to do? The best thing you can do if you disagree with the poultry industry is to leave the farms alone. Don't go into those farms. You're just harming more chickens than doing them good by going in there and quote unquote rescuing them. If this type of farming makes you uncomfortable or you disagree with it, I encourage you to go find a local farmer that raises chickens ethically. Maybe they'll let you tour the farm so you can see exactly how they're being raised. If you're buying eggs, make sure they say pasture raised because that means that they're actually given access to pasture every day. Free range really just means that they're still in a barn, just like 9 individual cages. Um, and then also reach out to your governors, representatives, and have them push for more ethical breeding of chickens, have them push for more consideration on their long-term health so that we're not seeing even a few amount of chickens that are suffering before they end up being slaughtered. So thank you for your time. Here are my references if you want to go look up any of these articles that I found. And I hope you learned something. Thank you so much.